What is going on, nerds and nerdettes? It's your boy Stevie B with a brand new segment I'm going to try out and see how it goes. Normally I'm not really good at this stuff, but I thought I'd give it a shot. And I got to give a shout out to Alex Winking Michael. I know I mention his name a lot. He is a good friend of mine, and I really enjoy his content. If you ain't watching Alex over on Winking on his channel, check him out. It's refreshing. I like the fact that he gives information that is legitimately helpful to the comic book community. And yes, I said community, not ecosystem, like he calls it, because I still believe that there's a community. I don't think it's dead. I just think it's getting shouted down by the gatekeepers out there. But again, his content focuses more on useful information to help collectors, new, even some older collectors, gather information to help, make informed decisions about what they do, rather than, shout them down and belittle them for the decisions that they make and the books they buy, and it's really refreshing. So check him out. But he had done a video here just last week where he had talked about a modern grail that he picked up and how the comic book market was fluctuating, and how this grail was once $1,000 book, and he picked it up for 75% of peak value. And the book he was talking about was actually Venom #3, the first appearance of Null, but he had a third printing, and I'm like, I'm old school, man. I always say third printing to me always meant you just missed out on the first one. But anyway, this is, to me, would be more of a grail, I guess you would call. But it's the first appearance of Null. This is the Tyler Kirkham Unknown Comics version variant. And personally, I think this is so much nastier than the A cover. So cool. But anyway, but he was talking about that, and I was like, man, why does everybody get on their channels and they talk about these grails, which I don't know if I'd call Venom 3 a grail as much as just a major key. To me, grail books are books that are, we'll get into it. We'll get into what I consider grail. But anyway, I do agree that it's a major key, and it'll probably be a major key for years to come. But I thought to myself, why, everybody's always showing these massive key books that, a lot of us can't afford. Not everybody can run out and spend $1,000 on a key book, or even $200-300 on a key book. And I thought, but there's so many other keys out there that are much more attainable and easier to get your hands on, that aren't going to put your kids through college or anything, but they'll be 30 years from now, they'll still be a key book. Null, who knows? I joked with him and said, that modern grail is an oxymoron, kind of a contradiction of terms, because in the last 10 years, I can't think of a book that I would consider to be a grail, other with the exception of maybe Miles Morales, Ultimate Fallout 4. I really can't put my finger on it. Correct me. I'm sure that there are some out there that somebody's going to go, are you kidding me? This, or this. And I'm sure that I'm blanking probably, but mostly I can't think of anything that I would consider a grail. To me, a grail, like I said, I'll explain it. To me, a grail is a book that is going to be significant 50 years from now. no matter what, no matter how the movie hype hits or TV series hits or whatever, it's always going to be a grail. It'll spike when movie announcements or TV announcements come. It'll spike really high, but then it'll come back down to reality. But it'll organically keep growing over years. And they're long-term books. They're not flip books, okay? They're not books that you buy low, sell high, get out from under them, and then the bottom falls out from under them, 6 months, a year later. These are books that I feel like are always going to be keys. I always call them forever keys. There's books on my wall that I will call forever keys. My first appearance of Lobo, to me, that's always going to be a key book. But there's several. I'm going to keep listing them off. One prime example of exactly how these forever keys get affected by movies was Carnage. Carnage will always be a key book. It'll always be a massive key in Marvel. And the movie came out and it shot up ridiculous. And all the flippers and sellers were were just pumping them out the door for, $600-700 and stuff. Well, now the movie hype is gone and the book has come back down and leveled itself out to where it was before, and people started dumping them. Oh my God, the bottom's falling out on Carnage. Dump it, which is a mistake. Carnage is always going to be a key book, and it's always going to be a major key. And that price that it dropped down to now will gradually start going back up organically. But I said, it's chess. It's not checkers. It's when you're getting comic books for investment purposes, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And some of these books, they're going to sit in your collection, and then one day you're going to look it up and you're going to go, whoa, boy, that book jumped up. But anyway, that's my thought on grails. That's what I call a grail. And I've thrown that term around before. I threw it around with my latest grail acquisition that I just picked up, the first appearance of Sabretooth. Again, not a $1,000 book, a 9.8 CGC maybe, probably, but 50 years from now, Sabretooth is going to be a major character. It's still going to be a massive key book, and it's always going to go up. It's never going to plummet. The comic book is kind of in a slump. I think there's a lot of superhero fatigue right now with all the movies coming out, and about 60% of them just sucking really bad. But I don't buy key books based on movie specs so much. I have mentioned in my couple of my videos that, like, the prime example. This is actually a prime example of, I get a kick out of it. I know I didn't buy this book because recently I bought this book, and literally 3 days later, set photos leaked from Deadpool 3 and showed Sabretooth in there. And now that book is starting to climb a little bit. I don't think movie hype is affecting values as much as they used to, but it still affects it a little bit. But I thought, oh wow, boy, I got in just in time on that one. And I think it's kind of cool that I jumped in like right in the nick of time before all the spec, the spec hits and all the prices jump up. But so that being said, that's kind of the intro to this new segment. I'm going to try to debut a affordable key that I feel like is 20 years. There's a long-term spec but a long-term investment that will organically grow over time, regardless of any movie or TV spec. And this one does have a little bit of TV spec behind it, but not enough to really inflate the values of them. But anyway, I'm talking about Detective Comics number 583. And this, in case you don't know, is the first appearance of the ventriloquist and his dummy Scarface. Now, this is the first ventriloquist. His name, the first ventriloquist was Arnold Wesker. And he's created by John Wagner, Alan Grant, and Norm Breyfogle. Yes, I did make some crib notes because I can't remember what I wanted to talk about. Now, there's 3 versions of Scarface. There was Wesker, and then there was Peyton Riley, who came out in Detective 827 back in 2007. That one was by Paul Dini and Don Kramer. And then there was the third and current one is Shauna Belzer from the New 52. Came out in 2013 in Batgirl number 20 by Gail Simone and Fernando Pisarin. But no matter how many other versions they come out with, people are going to go after the first one more than anything. And so this is always going to be the first appearance of Scarface and the ventriloquist, no matter how many iterations they come up with afterward. So this is going to be always going to be the key of the bunch. But excuse me, I know I get dry mouth. That's why you always see me drinking something. But Wesker, his backstory was he was born into a crime family, and he saw his mother killed by a rival gang, and he has had dissociative identity disorder, and so it made him kind of prime pickings to you know, he was already a nut job, and then till he got the dummy that, you know, bosses him around. But they kind of retconned his origin story in Showcase 94, where he kills someone in a bar fight, and he's sent to Blackgate, and he meets where his cellmate introduces him to Woody. And the Woody was carved from the remains of the old gallows where they hung people, and they convinced him to break out and kill this guy, whose name I can't remember right off the bat. But his cellmate convinces him to break out to kill someone, and in the scuffle, Woody gets injured and cuts his face and becomes Scarface. But either origin, still, like I said, is a cool character. Like I said, there is a little bit of TV spec behind him. There's some speculation that he may show up in the Penguin series, which would be cool. It depends. I think this is a character that, like the Penguin, who was kind of silly and goofball, but was actually managed to give him a makeover, so to speak, in Gotham, the TV show Gotham. That character, the Penguin, in that one was absolutely fantastic. I think this ventriloquist is another one that if written right and given a good, good character development and make him a little more realistic, could be a really cool character. But anyway, bottom dollar on this one. You can pick this one up on eBay right now for anywhere from $30 to $40. And that may be just a hair inflated because of the TV spec, but either way, you can get it in I would strongly suggest, it's a book from the 80s, so I wouldn't settle for anything other than a high grade. High grade is very attainable for, like I said, around $40 maybe. I think anything from the 80s and 90s, you should kind of, and up, you should kind of go for, if I don't break it, if I don't bend it up, dropping it, you should try to get high grades in those, because I mean, that's when people started actually realizing that comic books were collectible, and they started taking care of them, and bagging and boarding and all that became a thing. And so it, you shouldn't have to settle for a low grade on some of those. The older books, before people really knew collecting comics was a thing. Yeah, I could see getting a lower grade, But on this one's like, this is a near mint copy. This is a beautiful copy. And like I said, I think I picked it up for $15-20 back when I got it. But again, I think this is what I would call a forever key. The ventriloquist is always going to be a key. Is he the most popular Batman villain? No, probably not. But it just takes one good writer and a good artist to turn that around. But even so, there are so many $1,000 Batman books out there that have the first appearance of somebody in there that nobody's ever heard of, but are still $1,000 books. And so long term, I think this is a great investment to hold on to. In one that'll, like I said, 50 years from now, I'll be dead, but this will still be a key book. I'll be dead, but that'll be a key. So, and they're fun to chase, and they're really fun to chase. So, I mean, I'd recommend, like I said, make the hobby fun. You don't always have to have, wall books in your collection to make the hobby fun. Find these affordable keys that aren't going to break your wallet, but it'll still be an important part of your collection, and definitely worth the investment. But anyway, that's my little rant for the day. Let me know in the comments what you think of this new little series, and if you'd like to see more, or if you think this is the dumbest thing you've ever seen and I'm an idiot, then I will block Jedi Farce and kick him off my channel. But no, seriously, enjoy the hobby. There are key books out there that will withstand the test of time, that aren't going to cost you thousands of dollars, and are still fun to chase after. But that being said, that is going to do it for episode 1. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.